1916, possibly the most destructive year Europe has ever seen. Millions dead due to a stalemate reaching over 450 miles of trenches, and between all that is no man's land. Here men are slaughtered, engulfed by artillery, barbed wire, and machine gun fire. Yet the Allies are still determined to liberate parts of Belgium and France, who are being occupied by German forces. And with that in mind, the French and British plan to launch a joint offensive during the summer of 1916, although the Germans are quick to strike. And in February of 1916, the Germans launch a mass assault on Verdun, a French fortress city. The defense of this area requires all available French reserves, leaving the British to lead the summer offensive, and its aim to relieve the pressure on the French at Verdun. Hello YouTube, it's Flogan here, and welcome back to my Battlefield 1 history series. Today I'm going to give you a brief history of the Somme, and basically tell you what happened during this conflict, and the influences it had during World War I. And as I said before, I'm no historian, so if I miss any important details, feel free to add it in the comments down below. And with that in mind, let's get down to this video. July 1st, 1916, 7:30 AM. The battle had begun and it was met by a bombardment of Allied artillery to German forces for over a week. This assault consisted of over 1.5 million rounds of artillery fired over to German territory, and the main focus was to destroy obstacles such as barbed wire, as well as allow Allied forces to take over as much ground as possible. The Germans were prepared though, as they had previously dug out bomb-proof shelters, and returned the Allies with machine gun fire. The first day was met by a devastating 20,000 British soldiers dead, making it the bloodiest day in British history. The reasoning behind such high numbers was due to a lack of high explosive artillery rounds, which were used to destroy barbed wire. The artillery the Allies were using at the time mainly focused on infantry and did little damage to obstacles such as barbed wire, still leaving it intact, and in return, this caused Allied soldiers to get stuck within the barbed wire, leaving them vulnerable towards German machine gun fire. The Allies soon learned from their mistake and supplied themselves with a higher concentration of high explosive artillery. By August, the Germans had lost at least 250,000 soldiers, and morale was at an all-time low. During the beginning of the war, the Germans had a huge industrial advantage with supplies that were both high in quality and high in number. That was true until the Americans joined in on the war and backed the Allies. This gave the Allies a huge boost in the quality of the arms they were using, as well as a boost in supplies. The Germans had begun to lose ground and realized that they were fucked. 3 months later, technological advances had arisen, and the British introduced their Mark I tanks into the war, while the Germans had their focus on air superiority. The British tanks not only boosted morale among the Allies, but also protected their troops from machine gun fire as they moved along no man's land and essentially broke the Great Barrier that was keeping them from advancing. 36 tanks were made, but due to many technological failures, only 15 made it past the front lines. Though because of its introduction, the Allies gained over 1.5 miles of ground, and with the help of these new innovations came a new combat tactic known as the creeping barrage, which consisted of artillery firing just in front of the friendly forces, essentially covering them while soldiers moved up through no man's land. With this new tactic, the Allies gained more and more ground, and by the end of September 1916, the Allies had captured Morval and Vietvau Ridge, pushing the Germans further back. In fact, the creeping barrage became so effective that it resulted in the Allies capturing over 7,000 German soldiers, along with more captured ground. And by November of 1916, winter weather had begun to hit, and soon after the Germans had begun to retreat, leading up to the Allies' victory. Throughout the battle, the Allies had only gained about 7 miles of ground throughout the 141 days of combat, and over 1 million lives were lost throughout both sides, and for the Allies this was not considered victory, considering such heavy losses for so little ground. And that reaches the end for the Battle of Somme. So that reaches the end of the video. I really do appreciate those of you that actually watched the whole thing. If you liked the video, if you disliked the video, leave a like or a dislike down below. And again, if you have anything to say regarding the video or anything else, or if you have any questions regarding Battlefield 1 or anything like that, again, leave it down in the comments down below, guys. And if you want to be updated with any of my future uploads, feel free to subscribe or follow me on Twitter, and a link will be down in the description for my Twitter down below. But anyways, that's all I really had to say. This has been Flowgunner. I'm signing off. Peace, guys. Keep gaming. Stay sexy. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace off.